My name is Luann Reynolds, and I'm the intuitive novelist. I'm married to my husband Patrick and have 3 children, and I reside right now in Gulf Breeze, Florida. I found that, every 5 or 6 years we're moving to another state, and it's always interesting to see how that is going to unfold and what that brings into my life. I lived in Sarasota, Florida for a number of years, and that's where I started my writing. That particular time I was in interior design, and when you kind of know when one door is closing and another one's opening, that's what was happening to me at the time. I opened a holistic and wellness center, Arts Within, and we had maybe up to 30 some practitioners that did all different modalities of healing. But back in 2004, I was guided and that we were going to be leaving that area, and I was asking for help at the time, and I was out driving around. I knew I was going to be moving somewhere. I didn't know where. I was asking for some guidance, and I heard the word Durango, and I didn't know Durango from anywhere. I didn't know at the time that there was Durango, Colorado, Durango, Mexico. I thought Durango was a vehicle. When I heard it, I wrote that down on a yellow sticky paper, and I attached that to my little books of maps, and 2 years later, that little sticky paper was still in my map book when my husband and I were driving to Tampa. And we were going through a series of changes in our life right then. And that's when my husband said, I don't know how to tell you this, but we're going to be moving from Sarasota. And I love Sarasota. It was the first time that I really felt like this was my home. I said, well, where were we going? And he says, well, take that map out of the door there, the atlas, and open it up. So I did. And reluctantly, I'm opening the book, and he says, where did you open it to? And I said, Colorado. So I fold the book open, and I'm holding the book in the car, and I continued. And all the time that I'm holding the book, I'm talking about different things places to go. And I moved my thumb, and my thumb had been covering the city of Durango, which is in the 4 corners of the United States. And right away, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I'm just like, whoa, I remember Durango. That was given to me 2 years ago. So I'm crawling in the back seat, pulling out that book of maps, and I flip through and I show Patrick, there it is on the yellow sticky paper, Durango. I said, what do you think that's all about? And he says, I think we need to check it out. I don't believe in coincidence. So we made the point to check out Durango, Colorado. And when I asked for guidance, I received west of Durango. I kept getting west of Durango. Well, we ended up moving into a development on top of the mountain that's probably 7,500 feet, and the development was called Durango West. So, I was guided and given that, and Durango is a beautiful place with sun shining over 300 days of the year. You're in the tall, rough, rocky mountains. The energy is raw. It's beautiful wherever you look, and very inspiring, to say the least. At that time, when I had Arts Within, I left that behind. I needed time myself to heal. We all do from time to time. It was like slow down, need to catch my breath type thing. So I said to myself, I want a job like folding towels. Not that that is not a job, but I want a job I can just go home and relax. And, so I went to work in a store. At that time, one day, there was a gentleman that came in, and he wasn't even my customer, and he was at the counter, and he said to me, as I'm standing in the middle of the store, have you sold any art lately? And I'm thinking, do I know this man? Or, I'm not sure who this person is. I haven't been there that long. I didn't know that many people. And I answered him, I said, no, I haven't sold a piece of art, which I sold very few, so I remember, since I lived in Brunswick, Georgia. And he said, well, what are you doing now, you know? And he had this rush of energy. I could just feel his energy bubbling, and it was such a nice feeling. And I had to stop and think, what am I doing? But it was a wake-up call because, you know, it was like somebody ringing the bell. What are you doing? I wasn't doing anything creative, and I had, you know, really gone off what I thought off my spiritual path because it wasn't the type of life that I had been used to living. I said to him, I said, nothing, doing anything. He pulls a card out of his wallet and goes, I work with numbers, and he had this neat graphic on his card. This was black and white. His name was Kenneth, and he handed me the card, and I took the card from his hand, and it was like the quickening. You know, I felt this wonderful energy. It was a wake-up call, and I'm standing there with a card, and pretty soon I had to get busy. I had to wait on customers, and I tuck it in my back pocket, and I couldn't get him off my mind. So it was soon time to go home. We got in my car, drove from town, drove north through Animas Valley, and the Durango-Silverton narrow gauge train was coming out of the mountains down from Silverton that day, going through the valley. And this train is over 100 years old. And I love the train. I love to hear it whistle. I love everything about it. And it was also housed, the depot, the original depot is right across from where I worked every day. And I love the train to listen to it come in. So here's the train coming, and I'm driving down winding country road on the mountain edge. And I see a woman in 1800s attire just pop right out, and instantly the story starts to unfold. I'm like trying to hold on to it. I'm afraid that I'm going to forget, you know, what's coming to me. So I hurry on home, and I'm trying to keep this all together. I've got a story, and that is the beginning of how the information started that particular day. And 7 years ago, I am still writing story.